I'm Sofia Bernardi, mindset and business coach supporting ambitious new and rising coaches plus service-based businesses to master their mindset, create an aligned and profitable strategy, and grow a six-figure business using the Rising Coach method. I built a multi-six-figure business by the age of 24, and in this podcast, I will teach you the psychology, strategy, and energetics to do the same. Let's dive in. This episode, I'm going to be talking to you about how my client made $8,000 within the first 3 weeks of working with me. Now, this is such an exciting story, but I want you to know that what I'm about to share isn't so much about the $8,000. Yes, that is so amazing. What I really want to spend time talking about in this episode is actually the qualities of my client and how she applied the strategy that it is I teach, because I believe that is actually why she succeeded, right? So for those of you that don't know, I specialize in teaching my clients how to run challenges and events. This is something I've done from the very beginning of my business, and ever since mastering this strategy, that is what has supported me to grow to over $500,000 in just a few years. And I want to teach as many coaches this same strategy because it doesn't require being salesy and sleazy and sending a billion DMs or even having Facebook ads or sales pages or needing decades worth of experience or anything like that. I've invested over $100,000 in myself, and I have learned a lot about what to do and what not to do when it comes to marketing and sales and coaching people, right? And transforming their lives. And my mission is to save you that time and money and teach you this process of what really works, because there were times, when I first started running challenges and events where I wasn't making heaps and heaps of money, and, there were lots of things that didn't work. But now, after having run so many events, so many live trainings, masterclasses, challenges, all of those sorts of things, both in person and online, I've just learned so much, and I can save you a lot of time and energy. And if you're currently, yes, making some money in your business, but it's feeling hard, it's feeling like a lot of work, it's feeling unsustainable, like if you ask yourself, do I want to be doing these strategies and doing business in this way in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years time, right? And if the answer is no, then you want to make the necessary changes. Whereas I always see myself running challenges and events, and who knows, things could change. But for me, it allows me to do what I love. It doesn't take too much of my time. It's so much fun. It actually helps people, and it leaves people wanting to learn more. And that's why I believe the really, really most popular coaches out there, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, who else? Denise Duffield Thomas, all of these, really inspirational and successful people. I'm missing a lot of names, by the way. A lot of people do this, but they are spending their time and energy running challenges and webinars and masterclasses. Russell Brunson, all of these people, because it works. There's a real power and benefit to running challenges, webinars, events, all of those sorts of things. And so this is what I specialize in. I've learned from the best of the best on how to do this and how to not do it. And it saves my clients a lot of money and time. And that's why when my client joined my program and within 3 weeks she made $8,000, that is because of the process she followed, but also the characteristics and the qualities that she has and how she applied this, right? I didn't make $8,000 the first time I did this, but because she's learned from all the mistakes I've made, it's saving her so much time and therefore money, right? And now she's just repeating this process and mastering it, because there's so much more to it than run a challenge, run an event, right? There's lots of things in terms of mastering the sales aspect of it, mastering the marketing, mastering the storytelling, mastering the cart open period and the launch as a whole, and the actual program you sell and the offer you make, and that aligning with the audience that you're talking to. And all of these things play such a huge role. And that's why, I work with my clients really long term, because there's just so much to learn, and you want to be supported and around others doing that all at the same time. That's how you get really good at something, all of the famous basketball players, soccer players, netball players, whatever, they didn't just pick up a ball and they know what to do, so they just get good at it just on their own. They practice over and over and over again, and they're coached over and over and over again, and they're surrounded by people doing it as well, right? That's the power, right? Not all athletes have a coach, but all Olympians do. So if you want to be the best of the best, then you've got to surround yourself with people doing that as well, right? And putting yourself in those containers. And that's why I love working with my clients. But I really wanted to take the time to talk about 4 main qualities I saw within my client who went from $0 to $8,000 in 3 weeks from running one challenge, right? Because if you apply these 4 characteristics, you have such an ability to succeed and thrive, because these are the qualities that I see in all of my clients that are doing really well. They have these 4 qualities. And I believe I have these qualities as well. And that's also how I'm able to see them within my clients, right? And how I'm able to attract such action-taking, incredible people, right? That are doing big things and doing so with integrity and intentionality. So the first thing that I picked up on with my client who did this was she asked a lot of questions. So she was asking me lots and lots of questions, and I love that. I love when my clients ask me questions. I'd rather they ask me questions than not ask me anything at all. Like, I want them to want to know and understand lots of things. I have, lots of coaches for different areas of my life, and I utilize it. I ask questions. I put myself in the room. I'm not afraid to ask any big or small question, because I know that by asking questions, I'm fast tracking my process. And so what I noticed with this client of mine in particular is she was asking me lots of questions every single day. Like, how do you do this? How do you recommend this? Blah, 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 blah. Even though she had the content to watch, she had the step-by-step process, she had the checklist, all of that sort of stuff. She really wanted to understand the ins and outs of it. It wasn't just a copy-paste thing for her. It was like, I need to understand this. And so she was asking me lots of questions, and I loved that. So that was point number 1 that I recognized in her. That was just incredible. She shows up to every single call, every single week, and she always has questions to ask. And then she was also, voice messaging me through Slack throughout the week as well, because she wanted to understand and she wanted to get this right and she wanted to succeed in it, right? So that was number 1. So do you ask your coach questions? If you don't have a coach, that's like problem number 1. Go get yourself a coach. If you don't have a coach and you're wanting to utilize this really soulful process that is scalable and sustainable and fun, then absolutely hit me up, message me on Instagram at Sofia Rose Bernardi, or book a free clarity call with me, and we'll see if it's the right fit for you. I'm absolutely willing to say that it's not the right fit for you if I feel that and if you feel that, so don't feel like there's any pressure. I just like to have calls with people to make sure, so we can get to know each other first, because it is a big commitment, emotionally, financially, and everything like that, and I want you to feel really good about it. So if that feels good for you, totally book a call with me and we can chat. So yeah, do you ask yourself questions? Do you ask your coach questions? Are you asking questions? Like, the quality of your life will be the quality questions you ask. So if you're showing up to your coach's calls and you're not asking questions, please start asking questions. It's so important. If you're not showing up to calls currently, please show up to calls. And if you don't have a coach, please get a coach. If you want to succeed, that is. It's not to say you can't do it on your own, but I'm not inspired by people that want to do it on their own. I'm inspired by people that believe in themselves and their mission enough, and they want to do things sooner rather than later, and they want to enjoy the ride rather than, being in scarcity and just saving every dollar. I want to be around people that believe in themselves and their mission enough to put skin in the game. So do you ask your coach questions? This is so important. Even if you're in a self-paced program and you have the ability to ask questions in a support group or however else, make sure you're using it. My course, Rise to Coach, the ones that are making money and are signing clients on repeat and upgrading to my mastermind, they're the ones that actually leverage the course. They leverage to what they have to the best of their abilities in that moment, right? So that's so important. So that was quality number 1. Quality number 2 was she took massive action. When I'm telling you she took massive action, she went all in. She said she was, because it was her first challenge, she was messaging every single person she knows. And that's not necessarily a step to take, by the way. There's, a way to have people come to you, but she was so excited, so ready to do this. She wanted as many people as possible to come to her challenge. She messaged over 100 people. She went crazy, and she went all in. She was promoting it every day. She followed all the steps.
yeah, she didn't just dabble in it. She didn't go half in, like she went all in. And I just like, I love that. And it was like the moment I taught her this strategy, she started implementing it. She didn't wait at all. And I just think that that's, yeah, incredible. So do you take massive action? I can't tell you how many people say to me, I wish I was making more money. I wish I was signing clients on repeat. It's not working. Like this process doesn't work, or growing a business doesn't work, or it's so hard, or it's so this or so that, only to find they're actually not doing anything, and that's why they're not making money. So they're sad, or they're frustrated, or they're overwhelmed, or they're stuck, and they're complaining, and they're blaming their coaches, or they're blaming this, or they're blaming that, only to realize that they're actually not doing anything, and that's why it's working. Let me tell you this. If you are not getting results in your business right now, there is a reason why. It's not for no reason. There is always a reason why you are not making money. And so firstly, you need to check yourself before you blame any coach or personal process. Like, what is your action taking style? What is your commitment levels? What is your investment levels? Like, what have you actually done? What are you not doing? Like, what are you evaluating? Like, it's 100% on you. And I am almost certain that we can correlate the amount of aligned, consistent action you're taking to the results you're getting. If you are taking consistent action, like consistent, make sure you look up what that word means, and you're not getting results, I find that very, very hard to believe. But also there's obviously more to it than that. But that's number one. You've got to be consistent in something to know whether something works or doesn't work for you. Right? But there's always a reason. So don't feel like it's you, like you're the reason why it's not possible. Like there would be something in your funnel or in your process or in your action taking that is showing you why it's not working, right? And this is why having a coach is so important, because they can help you see the leaks in your funnel. So important. Okay. So my client asked lots of questions and she took massive action going all in.
Are you ready to create aligned, scalable results in your coaching or service-based business? If so, I'd love to work with you. I support my clients through my signature programs, Rise to Coach, which is for new coaches or service providers wanting to sign their first clients, and Rise to 6 to scale to consistent 10K months. DM me at Sofia Rose Bernardi on Instagram to learn more and see if one of my programs is the right fit for you.
Number 3, and this is so important for any process to work, and that is she trusted me, she trusted the process I was teaching her, and she trusted herself. This is so important. She really trusted me, which is why she obviously joined my mastermind, right? Because she trusted me based on the results I have for myself and the results my clients are getting and the way I'm doing it and the way I'm feeling about it and the way I'm living my life in the process. It aligns with herself and her values, right? Freedom's really big to her, adventure's really big to her. And I have that in my life. And so having that trust piece is so important. If you don't fully trust yourself, can you see how you'll self-sabotage and fuck it up? If you don't trust the process, can you see how you'll put blame onto external things? Like, this process doesn't work, this doesn't feel good, this. Like, if you're not trusting it, you're going to find so many reasons to not do it, and therefore you're not going to get results. Like, your results are based on the thoughts you have. So if the thoughts you have is like, this doesn't work, you're not going to take action, and then you're not going to get results, right? And then she trusted me, trusted herself, trusted the process. And this is so key to success, is that trust factor. I literally have 4, 8, 12. I have 12 affirmations that I say to myself every single morning in regards to health and wealth and relationships, because they're the 3 most important areas of my life. And these affirmations are all revolving around trust, because it's that important. So let me just actually read you an example. I've got them here, that was in front of me. So I trust, deserve, and experience that ideal clients will come to me and pay in full. That's one of the 12 affirmations I say every single morning. So I have 4 for wealth, 4 for relationships, and 4 for health. And I love them. And so the piece that's in common with all of these affirmations is I say I trust, deserve, and experience. Those three things are like absolutely key, right? So that's what I noticed with my client, is that that trust piece was there, and that's what enabled her to take action on it and therefore get results. And the fourth quality I saw within my client that really, I believe, led to her success was that she didn't dabble, meaning from the time she signed up to my program, I taught her the process, and then her implementing it, that was like immediate. Like the moment I told her about this process, she acted on it. She didn't like have it in the back of her mind, or I'll get around to it, or one day, or when I have time, or whatever. She just took immediate action. So what she did wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect at all. Like she actually missed some pretty big steps and still got really great results. And I know that if she had followed all of the steps, and we've all got to start somewhere, she would have gotten even better results, right? So just for context, she ran her challenge on her personal Facebook profile, whereas if she had run it in her Facebook group, she would have gotten even better results, right? Because there's very strategic things that I do within that convert to more sales. And so that's like one big piece, but she didn't have a group at the time. She just started working with me, and she was just so eager that she got into it, and it still worked, right? But it could have been even better, and there's many reasons for that. But I love that she didn't dabble. Like she really didn't dabble. And that is just the coolest thing ever. And so, yeah, by the time I had finished explaining to her this strategy, she was already implementing it. And she was okay with the graphics not being perfect and the challenge not being perfect and having never done it before and all of these sorts of things. Like she just went all in. And it's so funny because on my phone, like on social media, I get notifications of memories from a few years ago. And it's so like humbling and grounding to get memories like from 3 years ago that's showing, you know, the branding that I had for my business and the graphics. And I'm just like, wow, I've come a long way. And it's never about perfection. Nothing I do is actually perfect at all. Like for Christ's sakes, I'm filming this in my workout gear, like with my hair not made and no makeup on. I never wear makeup anyways, but like, you know what I mean? There's just nothing ever perfect about what I've done. And I'm very intentional with that because I hope anyways it gives you permission to be your complete self and know that you can succeed financially, right? And emotionally. You don't have to become someone you're not in order to succeed. I have remained myself this entire time and will continue to do so. And that doesn't mean who I am is not the type of person that dresses up and all of that sort of stuff. I absolutely do that. There's a time and place for all of that. But the person I am is just like being comfortable however I am. Do you know what I mean? And so I haven't thought twice about the fact that, you know, my hair's not done and whatever. And that's not to say that I don't value doing those things, but just either way, I'm enough as I am. And that's so important to me to recognize and to spread that message, because I think in today's society it's so easy to feel like you're not enough, or you have to be perfect, or you have to be up to this particular standard of this person that's been in business for like a decade, and if you're not like that, you're not going to succeed. And it's just not true. It's just not true. I signed my first clients from a challenge where I literally had like this piece of paper flip chart that I was holding up, and my handwriting was so messy, and like I was reading it off like, I don't know. It was such a mess. And I love that. I just love that it still worked, because it's just not about the perfection of things. And so these are the 4 qualities that my client had, and has, should I say, that I really believe enabled her to succeed from doing this strategy. So just to wrap that up, she asked a lot of questions, big fan of that. She took massive action and went all in. She trusted me, the process, and herself, and she didn't dabble. Like she just got straight into it. She didn't wait till everything was perfect and set up before she took action. Now, did she have fear? Absolutely, there was a lot of fear. She had never done a live video before. She'd never been on camera, which just wasn't something she had done before. She also had never run a challenge before. She'd never done any of the things I got her to do. And also that's why she hadn't made money before, right? She had no idea what she was doing. Like I said, she missed some of the steps, and that's fine. And she hadn't done it before. And she still made over $8,000 within 3 weeks of working with me, right? From one event, guys. And she's obviously gone on to sign a lot more clients now, and I'm really proud of her, and she's doing really well. And as we work together for longer, she's going to learn from every single challenge and event she does. She's going to get better and better and better and master these skills. And I'm going to save her so much time, effort, and energy by tweaking things along the way. Like the other day, I went through all of my clients' social media platforms and I audited all of their social media, their Instagram, their Facebook profile, their Facebook group, and if they had anything else. I filmed a 30-minute video going through all of theirs and critiquing all of them so they could visually see from not just their social media platforms, but from everyone's, like what they could do better to get more results. So highly recommend like having a coach that's actually going to take the time to look at the back end and the front end of your business and want to help you. But it's also the client's responsibility to ask for that as well. Like it's so important that you have initiative to ask and you shall receive. So that's why the clients that ask the most questions get the most results. Obviously if they implement it, but it's because they're leaning in, and that is what is so key. So I hope that this podcast episode, yes, we want to celebrate my client that made $8,000 very quickly, but it's not so much about that. It's about the qualities that got her there, because that others can apply as well. So if you ask lots of great quality questions, you're going to get great quality answers and therefore get great quality results. If you take massive action, you're going to learn faster than anyone else in the game, right? That's why it's not about, that too many people have this one niche. No, just be more consistent and be faster and you'll be fine. And just be yourself, and then the right people will come to you, right? Just be better. And if you trust yourself, you trust your coach, and you trust the process, that's where it's going to work. Where I see a lot of people go wrong, and this is personally where I went wrong as well, is I wasn't trusting the process in the beginning because I wasn't trusting myself, right? And so I kept investing in like 1.5 billion things to learn all of these different strategies. And after trying them all and going, and then when I finally, got that strong sense of self-worth and confidence and experience and all of these things, I went right back to the very strategy that I had decided I had done from day one. Imagine if I had had that trust from the beginning, I wouldn't have wasted so much time trying other things and could have just mastered this process even faster. I don't regret anything because I've learned, what I do want to do and what I don't want to do. And if that's the way I had to learn my lesson, then that's the way. And so that's totally fine. But if you trust yourself, you trust your coach, and you trust the process, you are going to succeed, right? Because that trust is anchored with belief, and belief is absolutely everything. That'll control all of your thoughts, which will control your feelings, which will control your actions, which will control your results. So that belief and that trust is so, so important, right? And then don't fucking dabble. Just do the work, be consistent. And this is not coming from the mentality of hustle and grind, but also you should want to take action for your mission. You should want to take action for the thing that you care the most about, right? And so I see in today's society, everyone's starting to get really scared of like doing work because there's all this fancy, surface level marketing going on where it's like, just sit at the beach with a cocktail and live your best life and you don't have to do anything. And it's like, yes, I can totally do that in this stage of my business. Like I was just looking at my calendar before and it's completely empty all week. Like, I can actually do that. I can travel, I have amazing savings. I have an amazing income. It's reoccurring income as well. It's growing. Like I have the ability to do all of that. But do you think I just started from day one and got that? No, I would be fucking lying to you if I told you that. I worked so hard in the beginning and I work so hard now. It's actually a Sunday and I'm recording this, but not one inch of me is like, I can't believe I have to work right now. Or I can't believe I have to do this. I was sitting here thinking like, what do I want to do today? Like I've gone for a walk with my friend. I had a beautiful morning with my boyfriend, going for a walk with my cousin after this, and I'm gonna go on a date with my boyfriend as well tonight. Like it's such a beautiful day, and I was like, I've got some time to kill. What do I want to do? I could watch Netflix, I could sleep, I could paint, I could do anything, and this is what I chose to do. This wasn't in my schedule to do. I actually wanted to record this episode from my heart. And so I think it's so important to really be mindful of what it is you're focusing on and who it is you're following. Because if you get sucked in to the messaging and the marketing of you don't have to do any work, it's just automatic, it's just easy, it's just this and that, and then you get afraid of putting skin in the game and you get afraid of working, you're going to suffer. Like, you're really, really going to struggle, because that's just not the reality. I cannot, for the love of God, tell you how many times someone's story has sounded so amazing on the outside. I've joined their program and found out so much information after about like the reality of what it takes. Can't tell you how many feminine coaches there are out there that believe in spirituality and law of attraction and manifestation and, you know, all of that sort of stuff, which I'm all a big believer in and apply in my daily life as well. But I can't tell you how many of them market, you know, this certain style, and then you go into their programs and they're very much telling you, you've got to do the work, you've got to take action, and it's actually way more strategic than you think. Now, I don't want to speak on behalf of every single coach out there, because I haven't been in every single program, but I just can't tell you how many times you see something on the outside and then on the inside it's different. And that's not because they are wrong or they're necessarily lying or everything's fake or anything like that, but more so just because you see 1% of the 100%. And that's why you can't just model people from the outside. You've got to be in their programs to really learn who it is they are and what it is they're doing and how it is they're doing it. Like, you might think that you can see someone's full strategy by just following them on the outside, but there is way more to it on the inside. The energetics, the healing, the very strategic behind the scenes strategies, fast tracking all of that sort of stuff, mastering your psychology. There's just so much behind the scenes, and that's why I see a huge correlation with those that invest in themselves and take action on it and get results versus those that don't invest in themselves or dabble and all of that sort of stuff. And so I really want to be real with you. I could sell you the pretty picture of you can just follow this one strategy and you barely have to work and you get all these results. Like, no, you absolutely have to work, but because this strategy is sustainable and scalable and it's simple and fun, it doesn't take as much time as other strategies, and it doesn't require like doing unrewarding, unfulfilling things. Like, it's very much about helping people and being impact driven, and you should want to do that. If you don't want to do any work whatsoever, business is definitely not for you, because I don't know a single business out there that has just worked without doing any work. Like, I don't think that exists anywhere. And so it's just really important to be mindful of what it is you're following. And like, this is coming from someone that has fallen for it so many times. Like I said, no regrets at all. I always take self-responsibility for every decision I make. I think that that's really, really important. But there's just so much more to it on the inside. And I'd rather, push away some people by being real with you here and attract the right people than say what it is you want to hear. And then I have to deal with clients that like aren't actually willing to do the work. And so when I think of hustle and grind, I don't mean burning yourself out, working 24/7, this, that. I really just mean like giving a shit and actually wanting to help people and actually wanting to work on your business. Like, I love my business. I love my clients. I love what I do. I also have balance. I also have boundaries. I also have discipline. I also have days off. I also have weeks off, right? I have like a long weekend every weekend. Like, I can easily not work, but also like I very quickly miss it because it brings me so much joy to see my clients growing their business and being creative and helping more people. Like, when I get messages from you guys being like, I really loved this episode, or this changed me, or I'm so glad I met you and thank you so much. Like, they're just like, I could get emotional about it. It makes me so grateful and happy and abundant. And it just, this is what I want to do. But I was also doing this when no one was talking to me. No one was showing up. No one was answering. No one was booking calls. No one was buying. I had to go through that phase. And every single successful business owner you see went through that phase as well. They might not tell you that, but they absolutely did, because that's how it goes. So if you want to learn how to run challenges and events and you want a simple organic strategy, I would love to coach you and help you and support you. You can book a call with the link in the show notes, and let's connect and see if we're the right fit for each other. But because I like to be as real and as transparent as possible, I feel like this podcast gives people a really good insight to what I'm like to work with. I'm just very real and fun, but very strategic as well. And if you're a new coach or you want to become a coach and you're just starting out, there's a link in the show notes to just join Rise to Coach and start working with me. But if you want to work with me more deeper, and you're making, $2,000 roughly more or less per month, so you've started your business, you can work with me in my mastermind, in which case I would book a call to apply to work with me. Take a screenshot of this episode, share it on your Instagram stories and tag me so I know you've been listening. So grateful you've all taken the time to watch or listen, depending on whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. But I'm really, really grateful for you all, and I'll see you in next week's episode. Bye.
Are you ready to create aligned, scalable results in your coaching or service-based business? If so, I'd love to work with you. I support my clients through my signature programs, Rise to Coach, which is for new coaches or service providers wanting to sign their first clients, and Rise to 6 to scale to consistent 10K months. DM me at Sofia Rose Bernardi on Instagram to learn more and see if one of my programs is the right fit for you.